What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy, and just having a great day so far. If you had to take a COVID test, a flu test, or a test for some other virus, I hope you have tested negative. If you did test positive for COVID, flu, or any of the other viruses, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long-term issues and no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Wednesday edition of the Virus Update for Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do the daily virus update on all those viruses that can make us sick. There's a lot of viruses out there. COVID, flu, RSV, norovirus, just to name a few of them. And there are so many more that are causing problems. In fact, today we're going to get a big update on what's going on with measles. Big update meaning, yeah, we got a lot of states to talk about today. Want to stay informed with all this? Just subscribe down below, give this a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and share this video with anyone you know. Already, we do have several news stories to talk about today, including measles. I do have some out in the wild news that I encountered today. Yeah, not good news. And then we do have some other things to take a look at as well. We have EMS data. We do have New York State, of course, and I think we will take a look at some wastewater sites today. I don't know that this will be a 20-minute video today. We'll just see where we go. All right, starting off with measles news. New Mexico sees 2 new cases of measles. Neighboring Texas, as you know, has been getting hit oh so hard, but New Mexico now has 65 cases, with 2 of them being new cases reported this week. Now moving on to Minnesota. Minnesota is now reporting more cases of measles. In fact, they are now up to their 2nd case of measles. It's just one of many states that continue to report more cases. Denver, Colorado is now confirming a 2nd case of measles. And it sounds like they may pretty soon go to a 3rd case in Denver. This makes the 4th case total for the state of Colorado, which again may go to the 5th case soon. It sounds like there was some exposure at home with this case, and maybe someone else is presenting some symptoms. So yeah, that's something that we need to keep an eye on. And we move over to the state of Washington. Washington is now seeing its 5th case of measles. This time it is an infant in King County, Washington. Remember, if you want to see all the details, exposure information, I try and post as many of these as possible over on my website, datareport.info, but, you know, I don't always get around to updating that in time, so follow me on Blue Sky or over on X, at Data Report, and I believe X is still at COVID Data Report. That was the name I made a while back before I said, you know what, let's just go Data Report, because, really, we talk about a lot of viruses. Talking about measles here. All right, moving on now to this. Indiana is reporting statewide total rises to 8 cases. Yeah, after more measles cases have been confirmed in the state. So, Indiana, only just about a week or 2 ago, reported their 1st case, and now they're up to the 8th case. Yeah, this whole spreading of measles, it really is a multiplication. 1 gets it, then 2 becomes 4. You know, where have we seen this before? COVID? Yeah, COVID does that as well. All right, I was alerted to this yesterday, and I'm just only going to read a little piece of this. This is in California, and the headline goes, virus that causes polio-like illness found in Bay Area, meaning San Francisco, as influenza cases spike. So we learned a couple things here. A virus that can cause polio-like illness, you know, it can paralyze, polio can paralyze you. And then influenza cases are starting to spike there, so 2 bad things. Get your gallon of hand sanitizer out from underneath the kitchen sink, because while the Bay Area COVID levels may be low, a slew of other respiratory illnesses are riding high in the Bay Area. Oh, hand sanitizer. Yes, that's just only one equation, one piece to the puzzle. Here's some hand sanitizer. Here's another piece that may actually work better, because a lot of these viruses are airborne. Take a look. Masking. Yeah, masking does work. Hand sanitizer, well, that just, you know, you squirt it on your hand. You go like this. Okay, that's great. My hands are clean. Guess what? I still have to breathe in air, don't I? Oh, can I wipe my... No, it's not going to do any good for my mouth. This would, though. Take a look here. You put the mask on, just like this. Oh, look. Now, if someone comes near me breathing bad air parcels, or, hey, I go outside during allergy season, this will help. Can't use the hand sanitizer. You get the point. I'm trying to prove to you that masking works. It just drives me nuts when we read about these stories that don't include masking and just say, use hand sanitizer, wash your hands. And hey, here's a true fact. Hand sanitizer, it's only a Band-Aid for washing your hands. Okay, that's just to hold you over till you get to somewhere where you can actually fully wash your hands. You get the point. But there are some viruses that are rising in the San Francisco Bay Area. And they're talking about data from wastewater scan. So you know what? We'll take a look at wastewater scan in a little bit, and we will take a look at the Bay Area once again. All right, moving on to this. Now, we don't have a lot of details about this, but Carlos Santana is dealing with a medical emergency just before a show. And, of course, as you know, that is something I keep a track of. So I will make sure that gets added into my archives. We have a tracking thread for performer sick because he did have to cancel a show. Carlos Santana. We don't know precisely what he's dealing with. Anyone know what his age is? He's got to be getting up there, upper 70s or low 80s. Gosh, I wish I knew what his age was. In fact, we could actually look it up, but we won't do that. Moving on here. So, yes, a mystery illness for Carlos Santana. Hopefully we get some more details on this relatively soon. Alrighty, this is not good. And this is kind of a reminder to everyone, pretty much how I put this on X. And I put as follows. Friendly reminder, COVID laws can still include COVID outbreaks. I'll tell the full story on today's virus update. Alright, here's the full story. This will only just take a moment. I was out doing my deliveries this morning. I had to be somewhere for a catering pickup. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, catering, that's a bunch of people that's going to... You're right. It is a bunch of people that are going to gather together. However, I'm the one that delivers it for one of the apps. And I deliver it before all the people congregate. Sometimes it's offices. Sometimes, yes, even it's senior facilities. Various different places. But it's before the event happens. And I go in and I'm always masked and I drop off. I do the setup. Sometimes it requires a setup. And off I go. Well, en route to that, I didn't have to be there for some time, so I could do a couple other short deliveries in between. Did one. One was to a rehabilitation center in North Wales, Pennsylvania. Look it up. It's northwest of Philadelphia. We'll say a half hour northwest of Philadelphia. And I look at my instructions. You know, I get my phone out and I'm looking. Let's see. Oh, leave with receptionist. Oh, okay. So I go to the door and I'm greeted with this. Well, take a look here. It says, caution, coronavirus outbreak. As a matter of fact, let's make this easier to see because I need to read this. Caution, coronavirus outbreak, mask preferred. Okay, if you're having an outbreak, the mask should be required. It says, all entrants, please stop. Please be advised our facility has coronavirus COVID-19 cases. Please use caution when entering the facility. There is a risk for infection. No kidding. There could be a risk for infection. Maybe you should have air purifiers out. Okay, on with the story. I leave with that, quote, receptionist. Well, the receptionist was in either an N95 or KN95. I didn't really look at that. I just know it was not a surgical mask because I was kind of in a hurry to get out of there. With good reason. Not only because are they having cases, the receptionist was sick. The receptionist was literally coughing her head off. You have a delivery? You could just... I'm like, whoa. I'm like, yeah, I'll leave it here. Took my drop-off picture. Out the door I went, grabbed the picture of this, and I got out of there. As I was getting out of there, driving away, I saw a man walking up towards the facility. He had what looked to be a case for a guitar. I guess he was going to entertain some of the patients. Meanwhile, they are having a COVID outbreak. It's ridiculous. So this just goes to show you, even though there currently is a COVID law, it does not mean there cannot be COVID outbreaks during a law. Yeah, a sign of our forever COVID, I want to call it. COVID's never going away. All right, moving on to this. Are you seeing or hearing more ambulances right now? Well, we had 116 votes, and this can still go for another 6 hours. I don't know if that we're going to get many more votes, but this is a really close one. 44% said yes, 56% said no. It's one of the closer votes. But hey, still, 44% said yes. And then one person said down here, I believe it's in Michigan. Michigan's coming out with a new thing where there will be no sirens. So, all right, obviously you're not going to hear anything there. And I'll tell you what, just a little bit ago, just before starting today's update, I did hear some sirens go by. And, well, we'll take a look at EMS in a few minutes. But I can tell you, last I saw the local CADs around here, very busy today. And something else. The number of EMS calls here in Philadelphia, yeah, they continue to trend higher. All right, anything for me to show you on the site? No. I'm going to be updating some of these threads. I don't know if I'm going to do it this evening. I do intend to go back to work this evening. Don't know what tomorrow's schedule is going to be. I may be going fishing tomorrow, but we'll see. The good old allergy season, yeah, it's not being very friendly to me, and I have taken my allergy medicine, but the itchy eye business, yeah, it's starting up. It's something that just really has been bothering me for many years. I get it, and it seems to be always 1 week out of allergy season where it hits me. All right, Canada, the COVID viral activity level is low, flu A is moderate, flu B is high, and RSV is moderate at this time. Let's take a look at bird migration, though I must say, we haven't talked much about bird flu outbreaks lately, and I think a big part of that is not so much they're not happening, it's the silence that we're getting from the CDC. Yeah, CDC is not telling us much, so I think that's why we're not hearing much about it. I think there's a big cover-up going on right now, but take a look at this. Over 200 million birds in flight today. In fact, take a look at this. Yeah, it actually went over 300 million. Almost the entire nation, United States, is dealing with heavy bird migration traffic. All right, let's take a look at what's going on with air quality today. You're going to see some bad air qualities, and I can give you a couple of reasons of what's going on. Take a look at New Jersey. Still right along the coast there. Some yellows. If I had shown this to you last night, say around 9, 10 o'clock, it would have looked a lot worse. Why? Wildfires. There was actually a wildfire that looks similar to something that's going on in Los Angeles. Really bad wildfire right near the Garden State Parkway. It burned thousands of acres. Take a look at this near Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I don't know if that's a wildfire, but little localized something going on there. Take a look down here in Maryland. This very well could be a wildfire. We need a rainstorm in the Northeast. We really do. The ground is dry. The temperature right now is 78 degrees. The humidity level, I'm just looking at my weather station here, it's not very high. And there's a little bit of a breeze. Yeah, conditions are ripe for wildfires in the Northeast. And, of course, that can lead to bad air qualities. We do see a little bit of a ribbon of bad air qualities from Nebraska down through Kansas, Oklahoma, across some of the southern states, including Florida, and then some problems on the West Coast, mainly in California, but even a few mixed in bad air quality sites in the Northwest. I don't know what's going on there. And Michigan is seeing some bad air qualities around the Great Lakes today. And taking a look at pollen levels, we can see that tree pollen, those reds there, they're making their way further to the north. And they're starting to get red into Pennsylvania. And I have a feeling once that red hits Pennsylvania, it's game over for me. Allergies are going to be through the roof. We'll see, though. Last year wasn't as bad for me, but I just got a feeling this year's going to be worse. As the itchy eye business started earlier today. Taking a look at the West Coast. Look at that. Some reds now starting to show up in the Pacific Northwest. Reds mean very high tree pollen levels. Yeah, it is that time of year. All right, Philadelphia. Another day over 800 EMS calls. We've been seeing a lot of them lately. Something's going on. And let's take a look at what's going on just outside of Philadelphia. Yeah, still 19 calls here. It was 20 a few minutes ago. Take a look at this. A lot of calls go. Ooh, this is not good. I see cardiac arrest not once, twice. I'm seeing fevers show up. I saw multiple fevers earlier. That's an indication people are sick. Not seeing respiratory emergency. Just seeing a whole bunch of different things. Again, not good to see cardiac arrest twice. Once in Abington, Montgomery County. That's just outside of Philadelphia. I'm going to be in that township a little later. Yikes, not good. Chester County. All right, this is good. Earlier, there were like 15 calls here. This list has gotten a little bit shorter. But yeah, EMS activity is picking up. Yesterday, we saw the hospital activity picking up in Pennsylvania. A little bit better today, but still, it's overall, it is trending busier. Wellspan, New York is a little busy today. St. Luke's Warren campus, yeah. Things are starting to pick up once again. And I am concerned about that. Let's take a look at what's going on in New Jersey. Let's refresh this. And we do see patient volume is showing up at Central State Medical Center. Inspira Medical Center has a specialty issue. And that's it for New Jersey. But again, overall, things are picking up. Taking a look at the flu positivity level, it is 1.9% for flu A and flu B. That is with total tests being 2,730. And when we take a look at the national level for COVID, the positivity level at Walgreens, it went up this week, 16.1%. Difference of up 1.9%. And I think what is happening in the United States, are we headed to another wave? No, but I think we're about as low as we're going to go, and we're just going to bounce off the bottom. Remember, I said this last year around this time. I think I've said it in the past. I think we're at that point now where we're just going to bounce off the bottom. We may see emergency department visit data. It may continue to go down a little bit more, but I don't think it's going to go down much more. New York State tested positive. 502 new cases of COVID reported. The hospitalizations, they have gone up a little bit this week, which is a disconnect from what we're seeing with cases. 579 people hospitalized in New York State and 85 people in the ICU at this time. Then when we take a look at New York City, we can see here, for New York City, 326 people in the hospital, 46 people in the ICU at this time. And let's take a look at Long Island as well, because we saw yesterday, the Long Island continues to go up. 151 people hospitalized, 18 people in the ICU. And I also want to take a look at hospital admissions. Yeah, they're higher in Long Island this week. They're likely higher in New York City this week. And how about New York State as a whole? Yes, let's see here. New York State as a whole? They're higher than they were last week. So this is something we're going to have to continue to watch. Let's do a wastewater site in each region of the United States, starting with the West Coast. I want to go up to, in fact, I want to do a couple in California. Let's do both of the San Francisco Bay Area wastewater sites. And we can see here that COVID, this is the one that's more west now, COVID is low and probably dropping at this point. But you can see a lot of it is just bouncing around. RSV is low. Influenza A is listed at medium. Influenza B is still high. That needs to come down. HMPV is high but dropping. EVD68, that looks like it's gone up a little bit. Norovirus is medium. And everything else is fine at this time. Doing the other San Francisco wastewater site now, we can see here COVID, that as well is bouncing around right now. It's bouncing up a little bit. RSV is medium. Influenza A is medium. COVID is low. Influenza B still high but dropping at this time. HMPV is high but dropping. EVD68 is low. Norovirus is medium. And there is one detection of Mpox. That was way back in February, and it is the clade 2 strain. So, again, we saw the report there, but we're not seeing things really rise there yet, but it's something we will have to keep an eye on. All right, let's make our way a little bit further to the east now. Yesterday we did do Arkansas. Let's go down to New Orleans today, shall we? I want to know what's going on there. You know what? We'll do both wastewater sites there. Oh, look at this. COVID. It's gone up a little bit in wastewater. It's listed high. RSV is low. Influenza A, Influenza B, HMPV, EVD68 low. Norovirus dropping, but still listed high. And take a look at this. We found ourselves some Mpox clade 2 detections in April. Have not seen any news stories for Mpox in the United States, but we'll keep an eye because it is starting to show up in wastewater in a couple of places. Eastern side of New Orleans, not bad for COVID, but RSV, look at this. That's a pretty significant increase there for RSV, and it is listed at high. Influenza A is low, Influenza B is low, HMPV low but rising, EVD68 is low, and everything else is fine at this time. Now making our way up to the Midwest, and let's go over to Michigan. Let's see what's going on in Ann Arbor, Michigan, shall we? And before we do that, let's take a hydration break, shall we? Very important that we stay hydrated. Alrighty, doesn't that feel much better? I needed that. I'm pretty sure you did too. COVID is low at this time. RSV is still high but dropping. Influenza A is low and dropping. Influenza B is still listed high. HMPV is high but dropping. EVD68 is very low. Norovirus still high here, and that drop has slowed down. Everything else is fine at this time. Alright, let's go to somewhere in the Northeast. Let's see, I think it was yesterday we did Boston. or it was the day before. We also did Portland, Maine recently. How about we come down to Connecticut? We have not checked Connecticut in a while. And Stamford, Connecticut is dropping. It's medium at this time. RSV is low. Influenza A is low. Influenza B is high and dropping. HMPV is high. EBD6A is low. Norovirus is high. And everything else is fine at this time. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Wednesday edition of the Virus Update. If you enjoyed this update, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, leave your comments down below. Don't forget to follow me on X, Blue Sky, and yes, over on Facebook as well. We'll have another virus update again tomorrow. I don't know, is it going to be early or is it going to be at the regular time? I may go fishing tomorrow, I may not. It depends on allergies. It's going to be a fairly warm day. Those seems to be the days that are worse for allergies in the spring, especially when it's dry. So, just stay tuned tomorrow. Maybe there will be an early update. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone. Have a fantastic Wednesday evening, and thanks for watching.